I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of getting to a point now where I feel like, especially with the flagship phones like the Galaxy S24 Ultra, Galaxy S24 Plus, and 24, we're getting to a point now where you're putting lipstick on a pig. There isn't much more they can actually upgrade slash enhance to make these phones any more better than they already are. You guys did not see recently I picked up the Samsung Galaxy A54 5G, and while, yeah, it's not the same equivalent of a Galaxy S23 Ultra or a 24 Ultra, it is an amazing phone. It has up to 1 terabyte of external storage with an SD card, which is probably the best thing I've ever seen, because now I can actually, get 1.1 terabytes of storage for less than $600. So, let's talk about the upgrades here to these phones. Because I feel like at some point, especially when you're looking for a new phone, if you're not going foldable where you're going with outrageous price tags, you kind of want to get the best for your money. And what are you actually going to use? Like, that's why I said, again, like many times, the Galaxy A54 5G is the best phone for your money. You get the phone for less than $400. You can get a micro SD card for $150, and you can get the whole entire package for around less than $600. And you're getting yourself a phone that came out this year, has 5G, has a 120 hertz display, has a 5,000 milliamp battery, does have some water resistance, no wireless charging, but it's a very great phone, especially for the price to performance ratio. So this was a leaked graphic of the specs of the upcoming phones for the Galaxy S lineup for 2024. Now, these usually come out in March, so we're going to kind of be right around that threshold last period. Bright display, 6.8-inch display on the Galaxy S24 Ultra, which is very similar. I believe the Galaxy S23 Ultra, I want to say a 6.7-inch display. It does have a dynamic AMOLED 2 times Quad HD plus 2600 nits of brightness, which again, like I said, very awesome. As we get more and more down the line here, we're going to get to a point where you can start seeing these phones from outer space with how bright they're getting. Now, the next thing I want to talk about here is something that I really will say that this is a gimmick. And I know the biggest gimmick, really, if you really break this down here, was the whole moon photos, right? With the Galaxy S23 Ultra, which was you could take a picture of a moon and it could actually take a full res picture of a moon. And in reality, it's been proven many times that that was all gimmick and that was all fake. What it's doing pretty much is taking a normal picture of a moon like you would with an iPhone or any phone, and it's going ahead and using AI technology to imitate what that moon would look like if you had the picture. So it really wasn't anything special. And of course, the 100 plus megapixel camera was on the Galaxy S23 Ultra as well. Now we see up to 200 megapixel cameras. Now, if you guys do not know, I am a photographer in my my actual job outside doing YouTube. Is I do photography. I do weddings. I do a bunch of different events. Okay, like I do photo shoots all the time. My Instagram is literally littered with photo shoots I do. Okay, so I love photography. I do. Currently, I'm rocking the Sony a7 III, but I also have the Canon SD Mark II, which you might say, well, you can go ahead and go a little bit upgrade there. Well, because the SD Mark II is an amazing camera. So, anyway, 200 megapixel camera on the phone. I can't express this enough because a lot of people don't understand this. That is nothing. 200 megapixels to 50 megapixels. You see the big number difference and you think, oh my gosh, that's a huge upgrade. It's not, okay? 200 megapixels is 200 million pixels in an image. Now, why would that matter / what can you take away from that? Well, that does not matter unless you are fully printing out a picture. And for 200 million megapixels, you need to be printing out a full portrait of someone's body, like a full-on life-size portrait that you're going to put on the wall. Because if you're not doing that, you never need over 32 megapixel camera. Period. You never need over more than 32 megapixel cameras ever, unless you are printing out the pictures. If you're printing out the pictures, you're doing a wedding photography, you need to have a 100 megapixel camera because you're going to be printing them out at full resolution. The more pixels in a camera, the more you're able to capture and get in an actual image. If you're going to be posting anything on social media, the Galaxy S24 Ultra, 23 Ultra, is not going to look any better than an iPhone. I hate to say that, but it's the facts of the facts. Social media, when you post on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, it all takes your image, whatever image you have, and it compresses it to be able to post on these websites. You're not posting a 200 megapixel camera picture on social media. You're posting probably the equivalent of a 20 megapixel or even less than that on social media. I think it's actually, realistically speaking, I believe the actual number is 8 megapixels or 13. It's something very low. I don't know the exact number, but it's very low. So just keep that in mind whenever you're looking at these brand new phones. They're great, they're flashy, they're awesome. But if you have a Galaxy S23 Ultra or you have a Galaxy S22 or 21, do not look at the cameras and think that that's going to change anything. Next thing, can record up to 8K. This has been an age-old mystery / conversation forever. And I do want to talk about this too. Tell me how many displays you have right now on your computer. Or at your house, I'll say on your computer. At your house, monitors, TV, anything. That shows 8K footage. That can play 8K footage. And the answer to that probably is not a single person watching this video. 8K, it can record up to 8K, is the biggest gimmick you will ever see. First off, we aren't even as a society yet. We're not even to a point where 4K above 60 FPS, so 4K 120, 4K 150, 4K 2, whatever. We're not even to a point where that is actually, like a normal thing. Like, I feel like more and more as time goes on, there's more people getting 4K monitors or 4K TVs, but when it comes, especially coming with monitors, especially, we're still, for the most part, a lot of people are still on 1440p. And they're just kind of getting into 4K. And for TVs, yeah, 4K TVs is pretty much everywhere. But 8K TVs are still a thing that is not happening yet. And if you're going to use this phone and try to put it on a monitor, good luck, because you're probably not finding yourself in any way going to be able to display this. I mean, right now, my current setup for my computer, I have a 4090, 128 gigabytes of RAM, DDR6, and I have a i9 14600K, 14900K. That's the best you can get right now, okay? That's the best on my PC I can get. I can't get anything better than that. Can I run 8K on my PC? Yeah, I can. Can I display it on my monitors when I have two 4K monitors that are 240 refresh rate each? No, I can't. I don't have an 8K monitor. And then it gets to a point where, at what point can a human eye even distinguish 4K to 8K, right? There's a whole there's a whole list of things, right? Don't fall for this crap of 8K, 200 million pixels in an image. Don't fall for that. This is all marketing to get you to buy it because it's a gimmick. So if I'm looking at this and you're thinking about should you upgrade this phone and get the new phone, those first two, actually, okay, I'll say it like this. The high resolution camera, throw it out the window. Bright display, that might be important to you. Powerful zoom, this is actually important. And if you look at the Galaxy S23 Ultra, you look at a lot of other phones, it is really cool how you can zoom in millions of pixels away and still get an image. Now, some of it is digital zoom, so when you zoom in too much, it actually becomes a digital thing where it's not even like it's actually what you're seeing. It kind of fills in the blanks for you, right? To a certain degree. We see this a lot on actual cameras, like the Sony A7 III A7S3, and I know the newer one's even better than that. I'm still in the A7 III series, but I know there is the S series obviously with that, and there's even more with the 4. But you can see the same concept where you can zoom in very far, and it's a very cool, awesome thing. again, like I said, that is a huge bonus. That's awesome. Reliable storage. I don't reliable storage. Now, I wish it would show you on this is the actual speed of the storage. How fast is the storage? Because that's actually very important. 12 gigabytes of RAM, 12 gigabytes of RAM, 8 gigabytes of RAM. Very important. Now, I will say for these phones, usually RAM is more about multitasking. How much multitasking can you have and your multitasking capabilities. If you multitask a lot, you're going to want more RAM on your device. Anywhere from a 6 to 8 gigabyte upgrade. Like if say you have 6 gigabytes on your phone and you're going to up 8 gigabytes. It's not what the upgrade. So like for example, the base 24. I think the base 24, the base 23 has 8 gigabytes too. So you're not really going to see any upgrade there. But 12 gigabytes, I think it's the same thing as the Galaxy S23. It's very nice. It is very nice. Don't get me wrong. We have a 5,000 milliamp battery, 4,900 and 4,000. This is something I really got ticked off about a lot with the Galaxy S23 Fan Edition is the fact it doesn't have a 5,000 milliamp battery as a 4,500, which it's not bad. It's just I don't understand why they didn't just give it a 5,000 milliamp battery. Beside the point, I ran aside there. It can charge in 30 minutes up to 65%, which is cool. Now, we still don't know the longevity of what this will do to the batteries. More recently, the last couple years now, we're seeing more and more phones be able to do fast charging to a point where it's like, oh my gosh, you could charge this thing within like 45 minutes and it could be 100%. And we're seeing some companies that do that. The problem and the drawbacks is the phone will get very hot. Sometimes the phone will shut off because of heat temperature. And we don't know the long-term effects of that said, using that said product and using it to a point where you can fast charge it that much. So I will definitely say one of those things is, Samsung, it happened one time, but I'm going to mention it. They did have a pass here of the phones exploding with the Galaxy Note 7. So just please don't go crazy, Samsung, and relive the past. Okay, that's all I will say is that this has happened in the past where phones had exploded and it was because of a battery problem. Now, Samsung's, if you guys have followed the channel, you know this, but if you don't know this, a lot of old Samsung phones, and this is exclusively Samsung, their batteries actually expand and destroy the phone after 2 years. We saw a lot of Galaxy Fold 2s, Fold 3s, that the battery started expanding and breaking the phones. Now, again, like I said, I don't know if this 100% you can put the, hey, listen, this is because of the batteries being fast charged. I don't think you can make that correlation, but there is definitely one of those situations where it's like, ooh, batteries having problems. Maybe other features are killing these batteries over time, which could be a problem. Again, I know, I think it was Mr. Who's the Boss, I believe it was his name. He actually did go ahead and talk about it, how a lot of the problems was because of the fact that people would have their phones, off, and like if you have your phone pretty much, you turn it off, right? And you have it in your closet or you have it wherever in a drawer, and let's say it's an old phone you're not using anymore. You never want to have that phone at 0% battery and then turn it off. You want it to have some juice in it, because if it's at 0% for too long and it's turned off, what ends up happening is the battery expands. Now, again, that's a little small coincidence, a small correlation, but again, there could be more problems down the line with fast charging or trying to get these batteries as quick as possible to go to 100%. I know we live in a day and age now where everyone wants everything within seconds, but again, you have to look at there might be consequences for other things if we do get to that point. Again, just a little FYI here. Durability. The Galaxy S24 Ultra is supposed to get a titanium shell. Now, I currently own an iPhone 15 Pro Max. It has a titanium shell. Kinda. You watch Jerry Rig Everything video, you know that is the most false advertisement you could ever say. It is titanium around the body of the iPhone 15 Pro Max. But if you watch his video, he does break this down. He literally tears down an iPhone 15 Pro Max, and he looks inside and sees how much of the phone is actually titanium. And it's like shed. It's like little, like, I'll say sheds, but it's like little like pieces. And a lot of it is the screws. The screws are titanium, and that's how they get away with saying it's a titanium phone. It's a very small amount, okay? That's pretty much what I'm trying to say here. And sorry, it's more than just the screws. It's also literally around the body. The frame, to a certain degree, is titanium. The outer edge. Not the inner, the outer edge. So, and it has durability problems. I mean, that was the thing that really, was the problem with the, iPhone 15 Pro Max. A lot of people were like, oh, don't buy this phone because it has durability issues because of titanium. I don't think there's really that much problems with titanium or using titanium. It's very expensive to use. It's a lot more expensive than aluminum in every way possible, but it's not really that insanely more expensive. I personally like stainless steel more. Again, just personally, but again, that's just my personal cup of tea. Titanium's not a problem. I don't really think it's a huge deal, though. I don't think, we need to upgrade because you want titanium over having stainless steel because durability purposes, because clearly that's not really a thing. We have the aluminum on the Galaxy S24 Ultra, 24 Plus, and we have the Armor aluminum on the Galaxy S24. All of these phones will be rocking the Snapdragon Gen 3 processor, a Gen 3 processor, dynamic lock screen, smart keyboard, and fingerprint by Nux. Yeah, so overall, listen. All these phones are awesome, right? And I'm not sitting here in a 16-minute video and telling you, don't buy these phones. I'm not saying that. If you want to buy them, right? I think you're going to love the phones, and you're going to think they're amazing. My point is, if you already have a Galaxy S24 Ultra, a Galaxy S24 Plus, a Galaxy S24. Should you upgrade to these newer phones? Or say if you already have the 23s of all these phones. Sorry, not 24. Should you upgrade to the 24? From 23 to 24? No, I don't think you should. I don't think you should. If you have a 22 or 21, should you upgrade? Depending on your use case, maybe. But I don't think it's going to be that much of an upgrade. And, it's definitely one of those things where I feel like as a consumer, especially when you're spending as much money. I mean, the Galaxy S23 Ultra here, that's going to hit at a price tag around $1,100, $1,200, depending on the storage option. The Galaxy S24 Plus is going to hit around $800, $900. And then the Galaxy S24 is going to hit around $600, $700. So, it's really not worth the upgrade. Just my personal cup of tea. But tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one.